Previously on Breaking
GPUs.
I'm going blind because, yeah, it's all pretty much new to me. Let's just go and try and do it and hope the core will survive. This is battery powered sucking device. Guys, what is happening here? Can anyone tell me? Back to the drawing board. I don't care about this PCB. It's all in the name of learning, right? It started now. Definitely moving. Oh, I think we are ready for the reroll. I hope I have a stencil. Let's... Way too much. Okay, the attempt number 2. Okay, so this went rather poorly. The card is connected. There is a small heatsink on the core that's held by this piece of rubber against the power supply. This is the main board. This is my Razer connected here, and my main setup, and the HDMI output from the card is connected to this monitor there. If you've never been here before, this is how I roll. So, fireworks or not? No fireworks. We are getting C1, C3, 25. So something is alive, but we do not get anything on the monitor. We will need to give it a moment at least. Yeah, so we have theoretically booted up, and the monitor, there's nothing on it. Yeah, no signal from the card. Oh, that sucks. But you know, I kinda knew that this will not be that easy. Okay, let's measure some voltages. Okay, so I started measuring, and here and here we have 12. Here we have also 12 volts. Sorry, I did turn it off. So on this here, this is 1.8. This one will be the 12 volts again. And this one should be 5. And when I touch it, I get 4.1, 4.2. Weird, right? I was just thinking. So originally, I did the video many, well, not years, maybe years ago. So basically the PEX, which is this one, was shorted in a way that it allowed all the voltage into the core, the original core. Now it's not present, and 5 volts is crooked. Like we have 12 and 1.8 stable and nothing else. So I'm kind of surprised that we have 1.8 if the 5 is crooked, but maybe they are not connected in any way, you know. Maybe 1.8 doesn't get, for sure it should receive enable power good from 5, I think. But yeah, if the 5 is not there, this small guy and VCore for sure take 5 volt rail. So until we fix 5 volt, these guys won't work correctly. So we need 5 there, 1.8 here, then we need VCore, which are all those guys, then we need PEX, which is this guy, and finally we want VMEM. And VMEM is not present for obvious reasons, right? If they are not there, VMEM wouldn't be there. So, this is responsible for 5 volts. Maybe there was a problem with 5 volts originally. So fortunately I have some of those used. So I'll quickly change that. This will take a moment for the PCB to heat. There we go. And I'll grab myself a donor board and we'll replace it. There's the guy. Let's make sure, because some of these guys have very similar lettering but are not exactly the same. HD, PH. Yes. So let's grab this guy. There we go. So good news and a bad news. Good news is that this guy now works, and on the coil, which is here, we get 5 volts, not 4.1 volts. The bad news is the card still doesn't work.
A few moments later.
Oh well, how do I even got here? Kinda long story, but I thought the PCB will be good, but it's definitely not. First thing first, like I said, the 5 volts was 4.1, so I've changed this guy here for the other guy. 5 volts became 5 volts, but then 3.3 is 4.1. So 5 volts is leaking. I already determined that 5 volts is leaking to 3.3 volts, and it goes all around the card and back into the motherboard. So that's awful. And I have no idea how to fix it, because I found this path here from this pin 6, right? There's 3.3 volts that arrives here on this resistor. So I disconnected the resistor. I've added this resistor, this Tru-Hole Big 100K, to start the chip automatically without the enable pin, which is this. So 3.3 normally should enable this pin, and this chip should produce 5 volts, right? So naturally I thought, okay, the chip is shut, or something is shut there, right? And it backfeeds the 5 volts that should go to this coil also to this pin, right? So therefore it leaks some, right? So you end up with 4.1 volts on 3.3. So I disconnected this, and 3.3 was fine, but I wouldn't know if 3.3 was fine because 5 volts was no longer there, because the chip wouldn't start with the enable pin. So I enabled it. It's now producing 5 volts, the enable is disconnected to 3.3. There is no longer a path, right? And yet I still have 4.1 on 3.3, so the 5 volts leaks to 3.3 somewhere else, not on this guy. In the meantime, I was checking other things, and basically we don't have power IC anymore. We don't have the MOSFETs here, and I was using wire to connect enable to enable R. So this is NVDQ, that is 5 volts, which is good because it comes from 5 volts through this resistor to these two guys. Then we have ground right here. Then we have enable for the power management chip, and this enable should go from here to here, through there, into one of those legs here. So yeah, and the leak is not here either because the 3.3 is close, so I thought maybe, but I can't really see right now what to do next. I can't find the path that 5 volts takes from this coil into the 3.3. So I have a colleague on Discord that is helping me with all this stuff, because this is above my pay grade. Leaking voltages on PCBs complicated like this is like really hard. But yeah, isn't that just a bad luck that I've rebuilt my first core and fitted it onto the board that is just so broken. So I'll be trying to fix it. I have no other choice really. So he said, okay, now inject 3 volts into 3 volts rail and trying to find all the points on the PCB where this voltage will appear but should not. So this is what I will be doing next. I will probably desolder this resistor. I will make this as factory again, because I know this is not the source of my problem, so there is no point keeping all that contraption here. Yes, I finally found it. It was this guy right here. It's a MOSFET. Of course it's a MOSFET. But now the card is missing some stuff. So power management IC, double enhanced MOSFETs right there. Then we are missing VMEM controller. We are missing big cap because I was taking all these diodes out, so the cap needed out. And it's missing stuff here, which is specs, because all this stuff was connected to 3.3. So I was going one IC after another, one diode or MOSFET at a time. So let me start fitting stuff back and see where we will get with this. A day later, I finished soldering everything back on, and it's time to measure some resistances. Let's go 2K, right? 2K will be good. There is the measurement. So 12 PCIe, we have 16K, 1.6K rather, sorry. 3.3, 1.3K, PCI is fine. Now 12 volts, there it's a lot, this one a lot. This 12 volt that we had the leakage into, 1.6K again, and now we have 1.8, 541, and last PEX, yes, PEX. Okay, that's 65 ohms. Just let me switch the range, right? So you see. Oh look, this this multimeter is it's not short. Okay, now let's check the memory. To check the memory, we can go to the other side. And one probe on ground. That's core. So that will be memory. We have 90 ohms on memory. So let's plug it again and see if it blows up, because the Vico may. So let's go. HDMI connected to this monitor. Don't know why, but it is in case. And start. The core is getting a little bit hot. Not much though. Now it's getting really hot. Okay, there's the heatsink. Start again. Now we should have a picture, but unfortunately we do not. Why it's still booting? Yeah, now it's booted, theoretically. And we have nothing from the card. Let me check the voltages then. So we have PEX or not? That's the question. Yes, we have PEX. So we have Vico and PEX, but I don't think we have VMEM. No, we have 1.5 VMEM. So theoretically this card is working. So I have no image. Well, that was a bit unexpected. I didn't expect all the voltage rays to just come up, because I done so much soldering there, starting with the 5 volt, PEX, power IC, this MOSFETs there, this chip here, all there, all that was taken out. So I didn't expect it to come to life, but we have no picture, but all the rails, which is on 10 series, it's an indication that there may be an issue with the memory. So I may have either fried a chip when I was either taking old core out or putting new core in, right? That's one possibility. The other possibility is that there is something not connected on the sides of the core itself, because I may have used not enough in terms of temperature. So let me run maths. We need a heatsink though for this. We run maths and see if the card is one, recognized by the computer, and secondly, if we can generate a report for this. Okay, change of the scenery. Let's start this computer, and this card will be working as a secondary. First thing first, we don't have any fan spin, which is already weird. Let's try booting up to the guy, and it's not booting. That's weird. Okay, I used the other thing. I'm on the 30 series, but let's see LSPCI. What do we get? Yeah, I don't see the card. So the card is not recognized. Oh, seems like... Thank you. Seems like we have a problem, and a big one. So the GPU is not running at all. There is no signal on the oscillator there, on this crystal. So nothing is happening. Card cannot run, cannot spin fans. So all I can do at this point, because we have all the voltages, the PCB is good, is to reflow the guy. If reflow doesn't help, I can lift it again, reball it again. But at this point, I don't know if the core is good. So I'm going for a reflow.
A few inches later.
Okay, time to test it again. I couldn't see anything on the crystal, the 27 megahertz on the other rig, and the other rig mainly does not boot with the cards. I don't know why. It's probably the Razer that is to blame. So maybe I need a new one, because this one is worn, to be honest. But nevertheless, I still want to test it, because my oscilloscope is not going as fast as 27 megahertz. So now it's not conclusive. So all we need to know now, if it's any different, like the fans, they still do not spin. But is it any different that it was before, right? All we want to know. So let's go Lightion, right? And let's go 20. Oh, this time it boots. So it is different already. So now what I changed, the only thing I changed, I disconnected this. This is for the MSI logo. And the next thing, we will be disconnecting the fans. Remember how this card had too much voltage on some rails? Oh, now it stopped completely. Oh, okay. Okay, no fan spin, which is not great. Still nothing. Okay, now I disconnected the rest, so these LEDs and the fans are disconnected. This logo is disconnected, so all we have is a heatsink. And do we have power? No, power on. We won't see the card coming alive at all. Smash F8 for boot menu. And Lightion. And 20 series. We know stuff will happen. LSPCI directly. You see that? You see that? LSPCI give me a Nano A. Audio device NVIDIA. VGA Intel. VGA controller NVIDIA Corporation GP 104 GeForce GTX 1060 Ti. Bloody hell. That means the fans are shorted. Okay, so the real question is, can we get any picture out of it? You know, there is no fans, so we will need to be fast. Yeah. Can we? Can we? Oh yeah, we can. That's bad. I'm shutting this down. You've seen that. So Now, that's the HDMI cable. I took it out, right? I've plugged in DisplayPort right there. And the DisplayPort, it's a DisplayPort to HDMI cable, and it connected to my HDMI 4 port on my TV. And start. And look at this, clear picture. So something's wrong with HDMI and fans, that we know. Let's go to Lightion and let's run maths. The first will fail, so I'll bring you back. Okay, we are ready. So, yes, how much memory? 5 megs. Let's do a quick test. This is all we need really at this point. And it's a pass. I think this is a working graphics card. What the hell just happened? What the hell happened? My first core Rebel was a success. Unfortunately, the PCB is still not fine. The HDMI, the fans that blow. So yeah, we will need to do some more stuff on it. But yeah, let's go. Okay, so now we have a working core, working memories, all the banks should be good. The issue is the HDMI port and the fans, which is not great, because I do have fans, but from another card. I'll show you. I think it's even the same cooler. Yeah, I think it's the same cooler. Let me check. But this cooler is another video, right? It's another card. It's a card from a viewer. So, but for testing purposes, I can swap. I think I'm jumping the gun a bit here. No, I don't. Because I thought, okay, what if it's not the fans? What if it's something that steers the fans that went bad? But yeah, the fans seem to be working now, and all the LEDs. So it's definitely the fans on the other shroud that are bad. Let's see if that thing loads a driver. Because for now we are on, like, I don't know what this resolution is. It's something 720p, whatever. We need to give it a moment. It's not the fastest computer in the world. It's not the slowest either, but you know. It tries to load the driver now, and it loaded the driver. Cool. So turn on my mouse, go to GPU Z, of course, open heaven. Oh, cat. Hello, cat. I'll give you something to eat. Let's go to advanced. No, to sensors. Oh, all the sensors are there. That's also surprising. What I was testing last? I was testing something, but never mind. Let's run it. And let's see what the sensors are doing. Okay, I call that a win, to be honest. That's a win. Let's see what the GPU is doing. The clocks are there. Temperatures will be bad because half the drivers are sorry, not the drivers. Half the heatsink is missing. Like VRM is not cooled right now, so I don't want to stress it too much. But yeah, it seems fine. So what if we try HDMI again, but I still don't think so. But let's try it for shits and giggles, right? Okay, let's just confirm the HDMI issue. Yes, the issue is still there. Shutting down. So, apart from the HDMI issue that you still have, that I may revisit later, it's a fully working GPU right now. So I consider this a success. It was more than I could take, I can tell you that much, because I rebuilt the core and it turned out that the PCB was shut. And it was a very bad fault. So, the PEX wasn't there, that was repaired, then the leaking voltage, now the HDMI. Is just, I was expecting to have a first experience with rebuilding the core much better. So just swapping a core from a bad PCB to a good PCB, and I swapped the core from a bad PCB to another bad PCB. How you said, you can't make this shit up, right? It's life. I imagine even after heavy editing, it will be a very long video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. It will be a lot. It will be a repair bonanza. See you then.